My name is Brandon Jones, and I just got drafted into the NFL. But my dreams of glory just spiraled into a personal crisis, as I discovered that several women from my past are now expecting my child. So now, I must navigate the pressures of fame, the weight of responsibility, and this complicated web of relationships. Will I be able to handle the spotlight, all while ensuring I'm there for my children? Or will the off-the-field drama overshadow my newfound career? Stay tuned for a roller coaster of emotions, ambition, and the quest for redemption as I embark down my road to glory. My junior year in Northern Illinois was special, bro. I can't even lie. I mean, yeah, I know we didn't have the best season, but I made some lifelong friendships, and honestly, I feel like I got better as a player. After I got kicked off the team at USC, everybody wanted to know where I end up next, and honestly, the last place people expected was NIU. As a matter of fact, during our preseason press conference, that's all they wanted to know was, how did I end up there? But look, it really wasn't no partying while I was there. I mean, everybody was so locked in, and honestly, it wasn't no time for that. I mean, I spent all my free time in the weight room for real. And just the 1 year that I was there, I added on like 8 pounds of muscle and I completely transformed my body. We finished the season 10-3 and ended up facing Troy University at the Camilla Bowl. Of course, I did my thing and put on the show, but we ended up losing by just 3 points. After the bowl game, I returned back to campus to pack up my dorm room. I'll be honest, bro, I felt, being real, bro, I felt kind of sad because that was officially the end of that chapter in my life. It was time to move on and focus on my future. Instead of going back to Kentucky to get ready for the NFL draft, I caught a flight to LA. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I could spend some time with Nicole. She was near the end of her pregnancy, and now that the season was over, I'd finally be able to go to a few doctor's appointments with her. See, Nicole is different, bro. I mean, I don't really know how to explain it, but it's like she's actually rooting for me, or she's on my side, like she want to see me win. So look, for example, as soon as I landed at LAX, she was there to pick me up. She had already made reservations to my favorite food spot, so of course, we went to go grab something to eat. After that, she took me to a room which she booked for me, a nice spot in the middle of the city too, and she got me a rental so I'll be able to move around while I was in town. Not only that, but she found this dope ass gym for me to train at so I can get ready for the draft. Now, I know to most of y'all that sounds like the bare minimum, but to me, it meant everything. But look, during the times that I wasn't with Nicole and her peoples or, in the gym training, I was ducked off at the spot I found that overlooks the whole city. I swear I sat out there for like 2 and 3 hours, really just thinking about how close I was to achieving my goals. After a few months in Cali, it was finally time for the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. Now, I made it clear to everybody that I wasn't going through every drill. Nah, I agreed to run the 40, do the shuttle drill, and catch a few passes. That was it. But look, I knew my draft stock really depended on my 40 time, so quite honestly, that's all I was focused on. I took off quick as hell and got a perfect start. My form was smooth as butter, and I finished with the official time of 4.24, which gave me the second fastest 40 in the entire draft. Now, next up was the shuttle drill, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all, bro, I wasn't really locked in because after I got that 4.240, bro, I didn't give a damn about nothing else. I felt like my fate was sealed. So I think I ended up getting like a 4.22, which put me right inside the top 10. But anyways, man, it was what it was. The next drill up was the pass catching drill. So, I mean, of course, that's easy. They basically just had me run through a couple routes and catch the ball. If I'm being honest with y'all, it really seemed like a waste of time. I mean, considering they have 3 years of tape. So the whole time I was running my routes, I was thinking like, what do they expect to see by me catching a ball against no defense? But of course, I don't make the rules. Now, the final step in the draft combine was the interview process. Normally, most agents would have their client avoid this step, but for me, that wasn't the case. My agent felt like it would be a good idea for me to speak to the teams and show them my true colors, and not the B. Jones character I created while I was at SC. Well, that strategy proved to be successful because my draft stock shot up after the combine. Instead of flying out to New York for the draft, I decided to stay home and host my own draft party at my old high school. Hella people came out, like my old teachers, friends, family, the local news, and ESPN was there. Surprisingly, I wasn't nervous at all though. I was just chilling the whole night, waiting for my phone to ring. The New York Jets ended up selecting me with the 11th overall pick. My dreams of making it to the league had finally come true. Before I knew it, I was on a private jet headed out to the team's facility to sign my contract. So now that you've seen what my life was like leading up to the NFL draft, I think it's time I give you a quick glimpse of how things have been going since I entered the league. Surprisingly, the majority of my time hasn't been spent playing football. Nah, it's actually been spent fulfilling these damn endorsement obligations. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm blessed to have the opportunity, but god damn, they take up a lot of time. I've done photo shoots and commercials and appearances for all the major brands, and you know what's crazy? All these opportunities I'm getting now really came from the brand I created at USC with my B. Jones character. But look, of course, I had to set aside some time to find a place to stay. And to my surprise, it was a lot easier than expected. I found this nice ass loft right in the middle of the city. It's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, entryway directly off the elevator, full kitchen of course, heated floors, fireplace, and it's right in the middle of downtown, so of course I got amazing views of Times Square. Not only that, but it also has a private garage in the basement of the building. Trying to find a place to park in downtown can be hell, so that comes in clutch. Speaking of houses though, I had always planned on buying my mom and my aunt a new crib once I made it to the league, but to my surprise, that's not what they wanted. The house that they live in now has been passed down through several generations and is completely paid off, so instead of moving out and erasing all that history, they just decided to have it remodeled instead. So that'll be my project this offseason, working on getting my childhood home completely upgraded. Now, unfortunately, things between me and Brianna haven't gotten any better. I mean, it seemed like it was heading in the right direction at one point, but once she found out about Nicole, all communication stopped. My agent received a letter from her attorney letting me know that she'll be pursuing child support. So now I'm in the process of dealing with all that, and no, I still haven't seen or even talked to my son. I mean, the whole situation is just pretty messed up, man. It's been a hell of a journey making it to this point. I mean, I really went through all the highs and lows that come with chasing your dreams. I started off at a small community college in Kansas playing JUCO football. Now here I am in New York City playing for the Jets. It's crazy what you can accomplish with a little bit of talent and a lot of hard work. But look, I still haven't reached the finish line. Nah, there's still a long way to go and a lot of work that needs to be done. So enough talking, let's get to it. So here I am in the first game of my rookie season. As you can see, we're on the road taking on the San Francisco 49ers, and the stadium is absolutely crazy. Now, of course, your boy is already used to this considering I did play in the Big 12 conference at one point, but hey, it hit a little bit different now that we in the NFL. In the first quarter, I was able to get my first NFL catch, but with 39 seconds left in the second quarter, I was able to pick up a huge reception moving us right outside field goal range. And then the man himself, Aaron Rodgers, was able to throw a dart over the top of the defense to my man Garrett Wilson for a touchdown before the halftime, giving us the lead going into the second half. Now, being that this is my first game, I had to send a message early that I'm not to be played with. Man, listen, I'ma just say, I don't think the DB read his scouting report because he tried to jam me at the line, which is damn near impossible. I took the top off the defense for a 77-yard touchdown, bruh. We were able to pull off the huge 3-point upset on the road in hostile environment. Now, I had a pretty cool game. I finished with 4 receptions for 119 yards. Say, that's not too bad for a rookie's first game. Want to know, of course, going into week 2, we still be on the road, but this time we be in Tennessee taking on the 0-1 Tennessee Titans. Now, it was still early in the season, but hey, you only get one first impression, so to me, it was important that I let my boy A. Rodgers know that he can rely on me, you know, sort of like a safety valve. Our first possession of the game, we were able to move the ball with ease. I mean, we pushed the defense all the way back to right outside the red zone, and then my boy Breece Hall ran it in for a 1-yard touchdown. Now, at this point, y'all should all know I'm a big play receiver. Yeah, I'm capable of taking the top off the defense at any time. But like I said, bro, early on in this season, I really want to prove that my hands are sure. Like, it's 100% certain that if you throw the ball my way, I'ma catch it. But listen, man, speaking of big play, I honestly think I need to change my nickname to Big Play Jones. Midway through the second quarter, I had the deep over route and I found myself wide open behind the defense. I went completely untouched for 6, giving us the 2-score lead before halftime. But hold up real quick, man. I figured we'd be going into halftime with the comfortable 2-score lead, but apparently the Titans had other things in mind. They were able to score immediately and give us the ball back with about a minute left before the second half. But listen, if you know anything about Aaron Rodgers, a minute is too long. With about 25 seconds left in the first half, I had the corner route. I wouldn't say I ran it to perfection, but goddamn it worked. I went completely untouched for 6, giving me my second touchdown of the game. We went on to take a 10-point victory on the road, improving our record to 2-0 on the season. Finally, we be back at the crib, man, with our first home game of the season. We be taking on the 1-1 Patriots. Now, their record wasn't all that, but hey, this is the NFL, bro. This ain't college no more, so of course you can't overlook no opponents. Now, I was able to find the end zone early on in the first quarter off the shallow over route. I found a wide open hole in the middle of the defense, and hey, I took advantage of it. But bro, seeing the way the crowd reacted to that touchdown and the fireworks in the sky, sky, I ain't gonna lie, bro, that feeling was addictive. But I wasn't able to celebrate for too long because jumping ahead to the third quarter, it was 14-14 even. Bruh, I needed to make an impact, and I needed to make an impact now because up until that point, I only had 2 catches. 2 catches for 19 yards and 1 touchdown. I was pretty much getting locked down the whole night. We were able to move the ball up the field and we got right inside the red zone. And that's when my boy Aaron Rodgers tapped into his dog mentality, or maybe it was the ashwagandha. I don't know, bro, but he was able to score, breaking several tackles and putting 6 points on the board. But listen, I've never taken them type of supplements that Aaron Rodgers be on, but one of them definitely has to have some crazy side effects because for him to throw in a triple coverage is crazy. Not double coverage, but triple coverage. He literally threw it directly to the defender and they took it home for a pick 6. That touchdown actually resulted in us falling behind on the scoreboard 35-24 in the fourth quarter with only a minute and a half left. With only 35 seconds left in the game, down by 9 points, I mean, the writing was on the wall, bro. It wasn't much that we can do. We actually were able to work the ball down to the end zone and end up scoring, but of course it was a little bit too late. 35-32 was the final score as we suffered our first defeat of the season at home at the hands of the Patriots. Coming into week 4 of the season, we'd be back at home taking on the 2-1 Denver Broncos. Now, this game was actually very important to me. Like, it was almost personal because the last game that we lost, I didn't show up. Like, it's almost like I got exposed or shut down. I finished that game with 5 receptions for 39 yards and 1 touchdown. Those are horrible stats, like at any level, even in high school. That's horrible. So I needed a big game this week. Now, I jumped out to a quick start in this game, getting an early touchdown. I was almost at 100 yards going into the third quarter, but I realized early on this team that I was going to have to do everything or nothing. Like, I couldn't just contribute. Like, I couldn't just be a key factor. No, I had to be the factor. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, that was perfectly fine for me. I mean, honestly, I was born to be a star, so hey, let's get straight to it. We had the 7-point lead and the possession of the ball at the start of the fourth quarter. So honestly, all we had to do was just really maintain the clock. I had a comeback route that I was able to catch pretty easily. Honestly, bro, I think my route running has gotten a little bit better, man. Y'all do me a favor and comment down below. Has my route running improved since college, or am I still the same? But anyways, right before the 2-minute warning, we were able to find the end zone as my boy Mike Williams came up clutch with a 5-yard touchdown. Of course, we were able to secure the victory at home, and honestly, I had a pretty good day. I had 8 receptions for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. That wasn't the best, but it was definitely better than my last performance. Week 5 of the season was different because it was a road game, but not just any road game. Like, this was a little bit weird because we were in London. Yeah, we would be taking on the Minnesota Vikings in London, and it was kind of weird to say the least. I mean, nothing's wrong with London at all, but I don't know, bro, just staying in a hotel all week and not being able to really move around how I'm used to was a little bit odd. But hey, of course I'm a professional, so I still had to show up and play. It had become clear to everybody that I was now the #1 wide receiver on the team, and of course I was Aaron Rodgers' favorite option. Now, that's a huge honor within itself because dude is literally one of the GOATs of the game. I mean, whenever he decides to retire, he's going down as a legend. So for him to have all that confidence in me and I'm just a rookie, yeah, that's crazy. I was actually able to find the end zone with about 35 seconds left in the first half. I had a post route over the top, and of course my boy Aaron Rodgers threw it right on the target. That touchdown couldn't have came at a better time because we were able to bring the score to within 1 point going into the second half. Now, there was a little bit of controversy during this game. Well, it was more so after this game online. You'll notice a few times throughout this gameplay that instead of, fighting for extra yards and taking unnecessary hits, I would just go down to avoid the contact. Honestly, I feel like that's a good business decision, but a lot of the fans definitely didn't like that. I'd like to know what y'all think though. Like, honestly, I'm a young receiver and my body is my biggest asset, so I feel like it's smart for me to avoid contact at all costs. I mean, I'm not Ray Lewis or Ed Reed. It's not my job to hit people, and it's not my job to get hit. And not only that, I'm an undersized receiver, so what are we really talking about? We finally be back at the crib. Yeah, man, we finally made it back to the United States. We be at home taking on the 5-0 Buffalo Bills. Now, of course, Josh Allen was doing his thing because, they got a 5-0 record, but also Keon Coleman. Yeah, the young speedy receiver fresh out of college or whatever, he was doing his thing as well. So if you think about it, you got Josh Allen, Keon Coleman, B. Jones, Aaron Rodgers. Man, it was a match made in heaven, and honestly, I wasn't trying to take no L's. Now, as you just seen, I had a touchdown in my hands right in the end zone, and I dropped it. Yeah, I ain't gonna make no excuses, that's all on me, but I promise you I'm gonna get me one before the end of the game. But here's another example of what I was talking about before. Yeah, I caught the ball, but I didn't fight for no extra yards. I mean, it really didn't seem necessary. But anyways, my boy Aaron Rodgers is an absolute beast. He was able to find my boy over the top of the defense wide open for 6, man. Count us in. We get possession to start the second half, and we were down by 14 points. Like, bruh, we were down by 2 scores. We needed to make something happen, and we needed to make something happen ASAP. Now, I actually had the corner route, bruh, and I honestly think the ball could have been thrown a little bit better, but again, I'll accept full responsibility, and we ended up going 3 and out because I wasn't able to make the completion. The fourth quarter came and we still had a lot of time on the clock, but now we were down by 18 points. I mean, we had possession, but unfortunately our defense wasn't able to prevent the Buffalo Bills from scoring. So we needed to put some points on the board, and of course, like I said before, man, we needed to do it ASAP. I was able to get the crossing route right outside the end zone, and then Breece Hall was able to do the rest, running the ball in for a touchdown. But unfortunately, it was too little too late, man. We actually lost our second game of the season at home versus the Buffalo Bills 31-23. I had a horrible game. I mean, it was so bad that I literally finished with a D rating, bro. A D plus at that. That's even worse, bro. A D plus, my nigga, give me an F. We were 4-2 on the season, coming off our second loss at home, bro. Our second loss at home, man, that hurt. But anyways, the next week, bro, we be on the road taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And as you can see, bro, I came out early looking to send a message. I caught a huge 67-yard bomb, putting us right inside the red zone. And then again, my boy Aaron Rodgers looking my way, full confidence throwing into coverage. But hey, like I said, man, I'm coming out to send a message. I was able to pull down my first touchdown of the game, giving us an early 7-0 lead. You learn a lot about what type of team you have after a loss, because that's when it get real. You know, some guys, they just pretty much quit. Like, they have a loser's mentality. But us, nah, man, we gonna bounce back every single time. I was playing with a chip on my shoulder, and as you can see, so was my boy Breece Hall. He pulled off a huge, 65-yard run through the middle of the defense, bruh. The Steelers were able to score their little 7 points, which is cool, but what they also did was give us the ball right back before halftime. Like I said before, man, 1 minute is way too long for Aaron Rodgers, especially when you have 2 big play receivers on the outside like me and my boy Mike Williams. Speaking of Mike Williams, he would find himself wide open at the edge of the end zone, giving us another touchdown right before halftime. In the locker room before halftime, coach told us not to let our foot off the gas, and we definitely didn't. Like, we picked up right where we left off in the first half. I came out and secured 2 big catches. One of them was actually for a touchdown. Like, literally in the third quarter, bro, I was approaching 200 yards and we still had a whole nother quarter to play. I found the end zone, and of course I had to hit my new signature dance, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. I know your boy look clean, but forget all that, man. Justin Fields and the Steelers, man, they refused to go away. They fought back with several scores and ended up tying the game 28-28. Forcing us to go into overtime. Now, at the start of overtime, bro, we took possession and we were doing our thing, moving the ball up the field pretty easily. My boy actually got us to right inside the red zone, and of course, that's when my number was called. I had the shallow crossing route and found myself wide open in the corner of the end zone, bruh. That was my first official game-winning touchdown of my young NFL career. And not only that, but I cracked 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, 13 receptions, man. Honestly, I think this was my best game of the season. We were able to pick up the win on the road, improving our record to 5-2 on the season. The next week, we still be on the road, and as y'all can see, I have been doing my thing all season. I was actually the leading receiver when it came to touchdowns and yards, if I'm not mistaken. But forget all that, man. We got something to address. Yeah, we was on the road, but this game was a little bit different than any other road game, because if y'all remember correctly, these is the ops. Like, these dudes is the ones that handed us our first loss of the season. So y'all know coming into this game, it was smoke. Now, we got off to a slow start as we weren't able to find the end zone until like midway through the second quarter. So like the whole first quarter, bro, we was on defense. We didn't score at all. But hey, I don't know what it is about the last minute of the first half, but it seems like that's when we play our best. As you can see, man, the cornerback tried to press, and that's never a good that's never a good idea, bro. I had to teach him a lesson and go ahead and hit my Diddy bop. Well, not my Diddy bop. I had to hit. Listen, man, I need a new name. I need a new name for my signature dance, because the Diddy bop in 2024 is out, man. But anyways, bro, like I said, we came with that smoke. We came with that energy. My boy Breece Hall, man, he was matching my energy as he pulled off like a 50-yard. Oh, bro, come on, man. These dances is crazy, my boy. I can't even focus on what I'm trying to say, but hey, man. And that's crazy as hell, man. Anyways, we had the 1-point lead and we were right outside the red zone. That's when I got the ball on the shadow cross that actually moved us to like the 2-yard line. We were right there, ready to score, but unfortunately, we weren't able to make it. But during the sim, I guess we went for 2 because, hey, we were able to score and avenge our first loss of the season, 28-20 on the road. We back at the crib for week 9, and we taking on the Houston Texans. Now, they got a pretty decent record, nothing really to write home about, but y'all see Buddy lined up across from me? Well, that's Stephon Gilmore, and he's, I guess, a star cornerback in the league, or whatever you want to call him. But before the game, Buddy was talking crazy. Like, I'm talking about like saying some real outrageous things. So that's why coming into this game, I had a bit of a chip on my shoulder, and as you about to see, I flat out embarrassed dude. Now, when Buddy popped up in my mentions, I was kind of perplexed. I was, taken back, if you will. But anyways, his social media handle is Bump and Run Gilmore. Y'all know the bump and run coverage with the DBs. Well, all that don't even matter to me because it's not too many people in the league that can bump and run with me because my speed is crazy. Now, I'll give credit where it's due. As y'all can see, he jumped my curl route and picked it off or whatever, but just keep watching. I'm telling you, bro, I'm finna do boy dirty. Look at this, man. Look at this, bro. I ain't even got to say nothing. That's like 90,000 yard reception right there. And y'all probably think, oh, he didn't get his foot in. Even the refs didn't think I got my foot in, but look, 1, 2. Yeah, man, count me in, bruh. Anyways, I was able to make the huge reception that got us right inside the red zone. Then, of course, my boy Aaron Rodgers throwing them darts. Touchdown, man. Now, although I was having a good game, going into the third quarter, I was like two catches, 86 yards, something like that, man. 1 touchdown. I was having a pretty good game, but that's because I was taking the game personal because Buddy called me out personally. You know what I'm saying? But I can't say the same for our team because our defense was getting ran all up and down the field and our offense had trouble moving the ball. I was able to get a touchdown early in the fourth quarter, but that was really the only bright spot of that game. We went on to lose again, bruh. Again at home, which is crazy. We lost by 10 points. I finished with 120, 7 receptions, 2 touchdowns. On to the next. Week 10, we be back on the road taking on the Arizona Cardinals. They were actually 5-4 on the season, so they were basically just a game behind. But see, these games are very important to me because of who's on the other side of the field. That boy Marvin Harrison Jr. And I already know after the game, once I hopped on Twitter, all I was going to see was comparisons. So I knew I had to show up and do my thing. Now, at this point of the season, we had the #1 ranked offense in the entire NFL. And the crazy thing about it is it's a balanced offense. I know sometimes we can be run heavy or pass heavy, but for the most part, we spread the ball around pretty evenly. Plus, my boy Breece Hall coming out the backfield, he's dangerous. He can score at any moment. And then, of course, me, I'm a highlight waiting to happen. And then, as you just seen, my boy Mike Williams, he can also score at any time as well. So I can see why we was ranked so high in the offensive rankings. We jumped out to a 7-point lead with about 2.5 minutes left in the first half. Now, I was actually having a pretty decent game. My numbers weren't crazy, but it seemed like if there was a hole to be found in the defense, bruh, I was there every single time. I think up until that point when I made this catch, I was like, as a matter of fact, I think it's going to show us, I was 7 for 6, 7 targets, 6 receptions, bruh. That's not too bad for 86 yards, and it was just the first half, but we were able to go ahead and punch in the go-ahead touchdown to increase our lead going into the second half. The second half was more of the same. We had a 21-point lead, and things were starting to get out of hand. I hadn't found the end zone all game, but of course, that would change, but it was kind of odd because this was the easiest touchdown that I scored all year. I was completely uncovered. I don't know what the Cardinals was thinking, but hey, man, I'll take it. Anyways, we went on to pull off the win on the road, and we was on to the next one. Back at the crib. We was back at the crib. Week 11, man, we was back at the crib, man, taking on the Indianapolis Colts. We have a pretty decent record, man, sitting at 7-3. I honestly can't complain. But listen, man, now that I'm watching this film, really going over this film with y'all, I think I play my best games at home, bruh. I don't know what it is. It's just something about that audience, the fans, the screaming fans, the cameras, the fireworks, bruh. It just had me on 10. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. This was actually my favorite game of the season, and you'll see why here shortly. Yeah, man, just keep your eyes peeled because your boy is finna make some major plays for the team. Like right here, for example, I had the deep post route, and I knew we needed to get in position to score. So, hey, man, who better to call on your boy? I put us in position to score, then my boy Breece Hall handled the rest. It was 14 even with about 1.5 minutes left before going into halftime. Now, y'all should know by now, anytime we get the ball with 1 minute to 2 minutes before halftime, we gonna score. And as you can see, that's exactly what happened. My boy Garrett Wilson, he was having a quiet season, but hey, he made a lot of noise on this play as we took the 7-point lead going into the second half. Bro, this play that you're about to see is literally the biggest and the best play that I made all year. 30 seconds left, down by 1, gotta go damn near the the entire length of the field. Aaron Rodgers threw it up, and of course, your boy came down with it. Y'all remember me saying at the beginning of the season I wanted to be that security blanket? Well, hey man, it don't get much more secure than that. Then on the very next play, my boy Breece Hall ran it into the end zone completely untouched to give us our 8th win of the season, bruh. The catch y'all just saw at the end of last game, well, hey, that was on SportsCenter Top 10, and y'all already know your boy was number 1. So we came into this game pumped up. Now, we were 8-3 on the season. We had an amazing record. We be taking on the Seattle Seahawks, bro. Yeah, we be back at home taking on the Seattle Seahawks. They were 7-4, so, hey, they were having a pretty good season too. We were able to work the ball downfield right inside the red zone, and of course, that's when my number always gets called, man, because your boy is efficient, I'm reliable, I'm, that dude. But anyways, my main focus during this game really was to find the end zone, because if y'all remember correctly, last game, I made some big plays, but I didn't score, and my goal at the start of the season was to score every single game, bro. So that's what I was focused on. And like I said at the beginning of the last episode, you get what you focused on. I was focused on the end zone, and what do you know? I found myself in there again for another touchdown. That was my second touchdown of the day, and I think I was right at like 150 yards, and it was only the second quarter. But of course, we couldn't celebrate just yet because the Seahawks still had a lot of life in them, and there was still a lot of game left to play. With 3 minutes left in the third quarter, the score was 20-20. Like, yeah, it was a tie game, bro. And I would actually run probably the ugliest route of my career. I don't know what I was doing, but hey, it worked, and we actually were able to move the ball downfield. We was right inside the red zone, hand off to my boy Breece Hall, and what do you know, man? He does what he does best. Scored. That would actually be the final score of the game as we beat the Seahawks at home 20-27, giving us our 10th win of the season, bruh. Week 14, we be back on the road taking on the Miami Dolphins. Now, bro, week 14 sounds crazy. Like, the NFL season is just extra long for no reason. But anyways, like I said, we be taking on the Miami Dolphins, and they were 6-6, but the stadium was like filled to capacity. Like, I'm not saying 6-6 is a bad record, but I know for a fact if the New York Jets, my squad, was 6-6, it ain't no way it would be packed to capacity like it is here. But anyways, man, look, I don't know what got into my dog Breece Hall, but he was definitely in his bag. Like, I'm talking about prime Adrian Peterson, prime Marshawn, like prime bro was in his prime. I don't know what was on his heart or what was on his mind, but he was doing his thing. I was just trying to stay out the way and, make sure I was blocking for my dog, and he made everything else happen. Like, look at his play right here, bro. Come on, man. That's impressive. This was actually the best game that he had all season. He actually rushed for well over 200 yards, and to be real, he was really carrying the whole team on his back. We were near the end of the third quarter, and I only had like 4 catches for 60 yards. I mean, it was like my normal production wasn't really needed this game, or so I thought. Like, we had worked our way down the field right outside the end zone. I had a slant route, but the Dolphin defense actually read it to perfection. Us not being able to score right there actually came back to bite us in the ass, bro. We ended up losing the game by 1 point. Coming off a tough loss like that our last game was kind of hard to move on from, but I realized the NFL, of course, is a lot more different than college football. See, in college football, it's all about tradition, rivalries, and I mean, that stuff exists in the NFL, but it's more so a job. Like, it's really on to the next one. So the next week, we'd actually be on the road taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. They were actually 5-8 on the season, so they was trying to get over that hill. But hey, I realized every opponent is dangerous at this point. Like you guys have been seeing all season, our offense has been pretty much unstoppable. Like, we can literally move the ball with ease and score at will. But unfortunately, I can't say the same for our defense. They've really been the biggest issue with the team thus far. And also special teams, we've given up a few kick returns as well. So yeah, man, that's not good at all. Now, I also have to take some of the responsibility as well. I mean, of course, I can't play both sides of the ball, offense and defense, but a few games back, I said something that I think towards the middle of the season, I kind of forgot. I have to be everything for this team. Like, on the offensive side of the ball, I can't afford to have off games. You know what I'm saying? So I think that really clicked in this Jacksonville game, because as you'll notice, man, I started to get my number called a lot more, and hey, I was able to capitalize each time. About 54 seconds left, 24 all in the fourth quarter, bro. We had to go like 64 yards up the field. Now, I was able to get the ball and get out of bounds off the shallow cross, but then my boy TC was able to catch the ball on the corner route and take it into the end zone, giving us our 10th win. Finally, we got our 10th win of the season. Now, I actually had a pretty good game, finishing with 7 receptions, 112 yards, and 2 touchdowns. 10-4 on the season. We be at home taking on the Los Angeles Rams, and they were actually 4-10. But look, the first play of the game, I mean literally the first play of the game after the kickoff, I took it home for 70 yards, completely untouched by the defense. Like, I know I said it before that I had my best game of the season or whatever, but no, this was my best game because on our very next possession, I did the same exact thing. I had the curl route, but I mean, I had already beat my defender, so it would be pointless for me to turn around. I took that catch to the house again for another touchdown. Jumping ahead to the third quarter, it was 28 even. Like, we literally were tied with a 4-10 team. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, our defense is definitely our biggest liability, and it's really a huge concern, especially because we finna go into the playoffs. Beginning of the fourth quarter with the game still tied, we have moved the ball to right inside the red zone, and of course, you know that's when my number gets called the most. I'm elite down there, you gotta understand that. But anyways, of course I had the slant route. I came up clutch with the catch, and we actually went ahead to take the lead. But just like I was talking about with our defense, they immediately gave up a touchdown. But then we immediately came back with a touchdown of our own. We had trips on the right-hand side of the field. I was lined up by myself on the left. Aaron Rodgers hit my boy Garrett Wilson in the middle of the defense, and he took it all the way home for 6, giving us the lead. But again, the Rams answered right back with a touchdown, 42-all. 32 seconds left in the fourth quarter. I actually ran a slant route to put us right inside the field goal range, but that wasn't enough for me because on our very next play, I ran the shallow crossing route. My boy Aaron Rodgers threw it in the coverage. Hey, that's that trust because of course I came down with it. We were actually able to go ahead and pull off the 3-point win at home over the Los Angeles Rams. Like I said before, this would be my best game of the season as I finished with 7 receptions, 195 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, man, y'all see where we at? Yeah, y'all should already know what time it was, man. We would be on the road for what would be my last game of the season. Now, the team still had one last game, but of course I had to rest, get ready for the playoffs. But anyways, we would be on the road taking on the biggest ops, man, the Buffalo Bills. They were 11-4, and so were we. Now, if you remember correctly, week 6, they came into our house and beat us at home. So, of course, we was in their house looking for some get back. We were down by 4 to start the fourth quarter inside of the red zone. Then that's when my boy Aaron Rodgers threw an absolute dart right on target to the back of the end zone to give us the lead. But of course, that didn't last very long with our trash ass defense because they went right out there and gave up a score. Now, I tried to tell y'all, man. 1 minute is way too much time to leave on the clock when your quarterback's name is Aaron Rodgers. There we were again, that same exact situation. We needed to go the length of the field, and we had a minute to do it. But y'all should already know what happened. We worked our way down the field. Right outside the goal line, I had the slant, and boom, I found myself wide open, bro. Wide open in the end zone for my second game winner of the season. We were able to go ahead and pick up the W on the road, giving us 12 wins on the season, and we were able to get our revenge for that loss they gave us at home earlier.